Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Finance, Budget, and Personnel Committee for Tuesday, September 5th. Are there any conflicts of interest? Anyone want to identify conflicts of interest? Okay. Citizens' comments? Citizens' comments one last time. Anybody want to talk? Nope. Okay. 4, consent agenda. Minutes of the August 15th, 2023 meeting and bills and payroll. What's your pleasure? Have a motion by Ed,
Second.
a second by Brian. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, like sign. Seeing none. We did not remove any items, so we'll skip over number 5. Number 6, request to recommend council approval budget resolution number 24-2023, transferring $50,000 from the general fund contingency account to the general fund professional services account for expenses related to environmental investigation of a former landfill site. This will be presented by Jennifer Zielinski, Finance Director. Jennifer.
Good evening. So we have been named a responsible party by the DNR, and at this point in time, we don't know exactly how much it's going to be. We're still in the investigative part of the process, and it's an unknown amount of expenses yet to incur. I think we have incurred somewhere around $7,500 at this point for some testing at the site. So what we would like to do is to take money from the contingency account and put it into professional services, and we're tracking this with a special project number. And rather than transferring all of that $50,000 all at once and maybe not spending it, I'm proposing that we transfer it as those expenditures come in so that we just don't have extra contingency floating in the general fund that would not ultimately be spent. So at this point, there's about $7,500 that would be transferred should this budget resolution be approved, and then we'll continue to do so as we incur those expenses. So with that, I would ask that the finance, budget, and personnel.
I'm sorry, I just want to chime in real briefly and add that we've been named a responsible party for our own property. And the adjacent party who had brought the concern to us is responsible for their own property too. So it's not like we're being named as a responsible party for someone else's property. We just need to investigate our own site.
Thank you for that. So with that, I'd ask the Finance, Budget, and Personnel Committee to recommend council approval of the budget resolution 2023-25.
All right, thank you, Jennifer.
Move to approve.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, thank you. You're welcome. Number 7, request to recommend council approval of resolution number 2023-51, exemption from Wood County Library tax, presented by Jill Porter, Library Director. Jill.
Okay, it's my favorite time of the year when I get to ask you to exempt the citizens of the city of Marshfield from the Wood County tax levy. We are able to do so because the city appropriates more funds for the library than would be required by the Wood County tax levy. So unless you have any questions, I'd seek your approval to, seek your approval to exempt Marshfield taxpayers from the Wood County tax levy.
All right, thank you, Jill. Ed, is that a motion?
Make the motion to approve.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, like sign, seeing none. 8, to request to recommend council approval for promotion of Andrea Hall-Bursma. Ooh, sorry, Andrea. To Adult Services Supervisor and authorization to refill the vacant position with 2 20-hour per week positions, one in Adult Services, the other in Circulation. Again, presented by Jill Porter, Library Director. Jill.
Thank you. As noted in my memo, Maida Hess, who's been our Adult Services Supervisor for the past 3 years, is leaving us for Nina on September 22nd. Given the really tough hiring market out there for professional librarians, and speaking to our board, we decided to grow from within and promote a current staff member, Andrea Halbersma, who's worked in 3 different departments in the library, to Adult Services Supervisor. She does have a requirement that she finish her master's in Library and Information Science within 3 years. looking past that, then she fills 2 positions currently at the library, 20 hours a week in technical services, 20 hours per week in adult services. And looking at staffing needs, we would like to have 1 20-hour per week or 20-hour per week position in adult services to fill that information desk schedule, and then move 20 hours from technical services to circulations. We'd look for another circulation assistant. And unless you had any questions, I would move that we promote Andrea Helbersma to the position of Adult Services Supervisor and post the other 2 positions effective immediately.
All right, thank you, Jill.
Move to approve.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any questions? Go ahead.
I just want to say this was such an excellent memo. You not only explained the problem, you had your rationale for why you were doing things. It was just so great. So thank you.
Yeah, well, thank
The other thing, this is the same lady we appointed to be our rep on the Southwood County Library Board.
Hallwood County Library Board, yeah.
Right, okay. So she has a pretty well-rounded background.
And she was also director of the Vesper Library for 11 years, so she's got a good background for that.
Thank you.
Anything else from the committee? So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Seeing none. Are there any suggested items for future agendas? Anyone? Go ahead, Natasha.
Okay, I have 2, and these are sort of for December, January, when we're done with the budget, just for when we have that time. And I don't know if these should go through finance first or if they should go through the council. The one is we need to have a better onboarding process for our council members. And so Mr. Stahlberg had said that he would be willing to work on that. So I don't know if that needs to come through here or through council, but that we should start working on that in January so that by April, we've got sort of a plan in place. And then the second, and this was spurred by a citizen email, but it's a valid thing to at least have council people understand. Is there a way that we could, and again, this can be January, have an understanding of the various vehicles that the city runs and has? So I don't need to know, I don't think the person wants to know about the snow plows, but the pickup trucks and the sedans and whatever that have the city of Marshfield. How many there are, what departments have them? Are we redundant? Could we be more efficient in how we're using these vehicles? Could we buy smaller vehicles so that we're spending less money? So again, I think in the dead of winter might be a nice time to have that report.
Okay, anything else? Steve, you have everything you need? Okay, all right. Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn? Oh, go
Yes.
ahead, Brian.
Motion to adjourn.
So we have a motion? Do we have a second? We're adjourned.
Okay.